Hi, everyone, and welcome back to English Podcast for Life, the podcast that helps you live, learn, and love the English language.
That's right. I'm Jack.
And I'm Emma. And today we have a really useful and exciting topic for you. One of the most common things people hear in English is, "Tell me about yourself."
Yes, it's a classic. Whether you're in a job interview, meeting someone for the first time, or just chatting with a new friend, this phrase comes up a lot.
So today, we're going to talk all about how to answer that question naturally and confidently. We'll share different ways to describe yourself, talk about your background, your interests, and your dreams.
And we'll do it through real conversation. So just relax, listen, and enjoy. No exercises, no pressure. Just real English that you can use in your life.
Okay, Jack, let's begin with the basics. If someone says, "Tell me about yourself," what's the first thing you usually say?
Well, usually I start with my name, where I'm from, and maybe my job or what I do. Something like, "Hi, I'm Jack. I'm from London and I'm an English teacher."
Simple and clear. I'd say something similar. "Hi, I'm Emma. I live in Brighton and I work as a voice actor and podcast host." That already gives people a picture.
Yes, you don't need to tell your life story right away. Start small, just a few key facts.
Exactly. You can always add more later, like your hobbies, your studies, your family.
Right. So, Emma, tell us more about yourself. Let's say we've just met. We're sitting at a coffee shop. How would you introduce yourself?
Ooh, okay. "Hi, I'm Emma. I'm originally from Manchester, but I live in Brighton now. I love reading books, taking long walks, and I'm a bit of a coffee addict."
I can confirm that last part is true. Emma never says no to coffee.
That's right. And what about you, Jack?
Okay, let me try. Hey, I'm Jack. I grew up in London, but I've lived in different places. Italy, Spain, now I'm back in the UK. I love languages, music, and I spend way too much time watching cooking shows.
That's a good one. See, we're sharing small pieces of information, but it's interesting. It feels personal, not like a script. So we've talked about the basics: name, job, hobbies. But a lot of people also want to talk about their background, where they're from, where they studied, maybe how they grew up.
Yeah, especially in job interviews, or when you're meeting someone in a more professional setting. But it also comes up in casual conversations. People are curious. They might ask, "Where did you grow up?" Or "What did you study?"
Exactly. And you don't need to give long, complicated answers. Let's try giving a few examples.
All right, I'll go first this time. I was born and raised in North London. I studied English literature at university, and after that, I got into teaching. I've always loved language and communication.
Nice. That gives a clear picture. And I like the phrase "born and raised." Very natural.
Yeah, it's common in English. I was born and raised in means you spent your childhood and teenage years in one place.
Exactly. Okay, my turn. I grew up in a small town near Manchester. My parents are both teachers, so education was a big part of my life. I studied media and performing arts, which is how I got into voice work.
That's really cool. And again, it feels personal but simple.
Yeah, and if you didn't go to university, that's totally fine. You can still say something like, "I started working after high school," or "I did a training course in hospitality," or even just, "I've learned most things from experience."
Yes, that's real life. You don't need to sound academic or formal. Just be honest and relaxed.
Let's move on to something people love to talk about: hobbies.
Yes, this is where people's faces light up, because it's something they enjoy.
Totally. And when someone says, Tell me about yourself, they usually want to know what you do outside of work. So, what do you do for fun, Jack?
Well, apart from watching cooking shows, I play the guitar. I'm not amazing, but I enjoy it. I also go hiking when the weather's good. And I've started learning photography.
Nice. So you could say, in my free time, I like playing guitar, going for hikes, and taking photos.
Exactly. How about you?
I love reading fiction, biographies, travel stories. I also love listening to music, dancing in my kitchen, and cooking when I have time.
You should see her kitchen dance moves. They're legendary.
Only for special guests. But yeah, hobbies are a great way to connect with people.
And remember, it's okay if you don't have a long list. Just one or two is enough. I like swimming. I enjoy baking. I'm into video games. It all works.
And if you're trying to say you're just starting something, say, I'm learning to, or I've just started. Like, I've just started learning how to paint.
I'm learning to play the piano. That shows curiosity and growth.
Okay, now here's a tricky one. Describing your personality. It can feel a bit strange, right?
Yes, definitely. It's hard for some people to say, I'm funny, or I'm a hard worker. It feels like you're bragging.
But it doesn't have to be like that. There are natural ways to describe your personality without sounding arrogant.
Right. One way is to use softeners. For example, I think I'm quite creative. People say I'm very calm.
That's a good tip. Let's give some examples of positive personality traits you can use. Friendly, honest, reliable, curious, hardworking, easygoing, positive, patient, funny.
Here's how I might use a few. I'd say I'm friendly and reliable. I like working with people, and I always try to be on time.
And I might say, I'm quite creative and I love trying new things. I'm also pretty organized. I like planning things ahead.
And if you're more introverted or shy, that's okay too. You can say, I'm a quiet person, but I enjoy deep conversations. I'm a bit shy at first, but once I know someone, I open up.
Yes, that's a lovely way to express it. Being honest about who you are makes your introduction more interesting. All right, let's talk about something that almost always comes up in conversation.
Yeah, definitely. People often ask questions like, do you have any brothers or sisters? Are you close with your family? Do you live near your parents?
Exactly. It's a natural topic because family says a lot about who we are and where we come from. So, Jack, tell us about your family.
Sure. So I come from a small family. I have one younger sister. She's a nurse. And my parents live just outside of London. We're quite close. We usually talk every weekend and meet up on holidays.
That's lovely. And you're the big brother.
Yeah, I try to be a good one. What about you?
Well, I have two older brothers. Both live abroad now. One in Canada and one in Spain. We don't see each other often, but we stay in touch. My parents are retired and live in the countryside. I try to visit them every few months.
Nice. So you can say things like, I'm the youngest in my family. I have a big family, lots of cousins. My family is very close. Or if it's different, my family lives far away, so we don't see each other often.
Yeah, you don't have to go into detail. Just give a little picture of your home life.
Let's move on to something deeper now. Dreams and goals.
Ooh, I love this topic. Everyone has a dream, right? Even if it's small.
Totally. And when someone asks, tell me about yourself, they might also be wondering, what motivates you? What are you working toward?
Yes, so Jack, what's one of your personal dreams?
Okay. One of my dreams is to write a book. I love storytelling, and I've been writing little things for years, but I'd love to finish a real novel one day.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. I'd definitely read it.
Thanks. How about you?
For me, it's travel. I've always wanted to take a year off and travel around the world. Just me, a backpack, and a notebook. Maybe record a travel podcast. Who knows?
That would be epic. See, dreams are personal, and they show what we care about.
Exactly. Even if your goal is something like, I want to improve my English. I hope to get a new job. My dream is to have my own business. It's all powerful.
And you can use these phrases. One day, I'd love to. It's my dream to. I've always wanted to. My goal is to.
And you can be honest if you're still figuring things out. Say, I'm not sure yet, but I'm exploring different paths.
Now, let's get even more real. Let's talk about values. What matters to you as a person?
Yes, this is such an important part of identity. When someone says, tell me about yourself, you can share the things that guide your life, like kindness, honesty, learning, health.
Exactly. So for me, I'd say, I really value honesty and curiosity. I like learning new things and being open to new ideas.
And I'd say, I value connection, deep friendships, and good conversations. And I try to live with kindness and patience, even on stressful days.
That's beautiful. And again, these things help people understand you better. Not just what you do, but who you are.
Right, you can say, I believe in. It's important for me too. I try to live by. Something I really care about is.
And it doesn't have to be big or dramatic. Even something like, I believe in working hard and being kind. Or, I really care about helping others.
That's enough. That's what makes people feel connected to you.
So far, we've covered a lot. How to talk about your background, hobbies, personality, family, dreams, and values.
And the key is to keep it natural and true to you. Don't memorize lines. Just think of how you talk to a friendly person in real life.
Exactly. And remember, tell me about yourself isn't a test. It's an invitation to share.
Yes, people want to know who you are, and your story is worth telling. All right, we've talked a lot about what to say when someone asks, tell me about yourself. But here's something important. How you answer can change depending on the situation.
Absolutely. You don't speak the same way at a job interview as you do on a first date. So let's look at different situations and how you might introduce yourself.
Let's start with the most casual one. Meeting someone new in a social setting, maybe at a party or through a mutual friend.
Right. In this case, you want to keep it light and friendly. Like, hey, I'm Jack. I live in Oxford and I teach English. What about you?
Or, hi, I'm Emma. I love hiking and I just moved here last month. Nice to meet you.
Short, natural, relaxed. You're giving just enough to start a conversation.
Exactly. And then you can talk about shared interests, movies, travel, whatever comes up.
Now, let's change the setting, a job interview. This is where people often hear that famous line, tell me about yourself.
Yes, and it can feel scary. But the secret is to keep your answer clear, professional, and focused on the job.
Right. Here's an example. My name is Jack Turner. I have over 5 years of experience teaching English, both online and in classrooms. I enjoy creating interactive lessons and helping students build confidence in speaking.
Very nice. You can also add something personal at the end to make it more human. Like, outside of work, I enjoy photography and volunteering at my local library.
That's a great touch. It shows you're a real person, not just a resume.
Okay, next situation. You've joined a new course or started a language class, and it's your turn to introduce yourself.
This is common, especially for our listeners. You might say something like, hi, I'm Maria. I'm from Italy, and I'm learning English to help with my job. I like cooking and watching English movies.
Perfect. Keep it simple. Add your name, where you're from, why you're there, and 1 or 2 hobbies.
And if you're shy, don't worry. Everyone in the class is nervous. Even saying, hi, I'm David. I work in IT and I want to improve my speaking. That's enough.
All right, now for the fun one. A date. You sit down, order a drink, and the other person says, "So, tell me about yourself."
Yes, the classic date question. You want to be honest and interesting, but not too serious.
Right, maybe something like this. I'm Emma. I love good books, road trips, and cooking new recipes, even if they don't always work out.
That's charming. And I might say, I'm Jack. I teach English and play the guitar badly, but with passion. I'm a big fan of coffee and dad jokes.
Dad jokes are important. So, on a date, it's okay to be a bit funny or warm. Let your personality show.
Yes, it's not an interview. You're there to connect.
So now you've seen how introductions change depending on where you are. Let's talk a little about how to adjust your tone, length, and focus.
Yes, think of it like telling a story. You don't tell the same version of your story to everyone. Sometimes short and sweet is best. Other times, you want to go deeper.
Exactly. Ask yourself 3 things. Who is the listener? Why are we talking? How much do they want to know?
In a job interview, they want to know what you can do. In a social event, they want to know who you are. On a date, they want to know what you care about.
Beautifully said. So practice telling your story in different ways. Like this, 30 seconds. Hi, I'm Mark. I work in design, love biking, and just moved to Berlin. Hi, I'm Anna. I'm originally from Poland. I studied psychology and now work in HR. I really enjoy traveling and learning new languages. I'm also a big fan of cooking shows. Hi, I'm Leo. I've worked in digital marketing for 6 years. I'm passionate about helping small businesses grow online. In my free time, I enjoy reading biographies, hiking, and I've just started a podcast about creativity and work-life balance.
You don't have to be perfect. Just be present. The more you do it, the more confident you'll become.
Okay, Jack. We've talked about introductions, values, family, and dreams. But now let's go deeper.
Yes, it's time to talk about your life story. How to share your journey in a way that's personal, simple, and meaningful.
Exactly. Because when someone says, "Tell me about yourself," they might want to hear more than just your job or hobbies. They want to know your path, where you've been, what you've learned, and what you're becoming.
So, how do you tell your life story in English? The answer is step by step. Keep it simple and choose just a few moments that matter to you.
Let's start with childhood. Not every detail, just a few memories or facts.
Here's an example. I grew up in a quiet town in the north of England. As a kid, I loved reading and playing football. My parents were teachers, and they always encouraged me to be curious.
That's great. And here's mine. I was born in a small village in Ireland. My childhood was full of music and nature. I used to dance around the kitchen with my mom while she cooked.
That's such a sweet image. You can also say, I had a happy childhood. My family didn't have much money, but we had a lot of love. I moved around a lot as a child, so I learned to adapt.
Even just one sentence can paint a picture.
Now let's talk about turning points. Big changes, challenges, or important decisions.
Yes, these are the moments that shape us. For example, when I was 18, I left home to study abroad. It was scary at first, but it changed my life.
I lost my first job during the pandemic, and that's when I decided to start my own business.
These sentences are short but powerful. They show growth.
And remember, you don't have to share anything you don't want to. Just choose moments that you feel comfortable with.
One thing to remember is, don't try to sound perfect. A good life story has ups and downs.
Yes, you can say things like, it wasn't easy at first. I struggled with confidence. I made mistakes, but I learned a lot.
These phrases show that you're human, and that's what people connect with.
You can also use linking words to make your story flow. After that, a few years later, that's when I realized. Since then,
Let's try putting it all together. Want to go first, Jack?
sure, I'll try to give a short version of my story. I grew up in London and was always curious about languages. After studying English literature, I started teaching and moved abroad. Living in Italy and Spain taught me a lot about communication and culture. A few years ago, I came back to the UK and started working online. I've faced challenges, but teaching has always been something that makes me feel alive.
That was wonderful. It felt real and personal.
Thank you. Your turn.
All right, here goes. I was born in a small Irish village. I loved music and stories from a young age. I studied media and later started working in radio. After some years in the city, I moved closer to nature and focused on voice work. I've had my ups and downs, but one thing that's always helped me is creativity. It keeps me moving forward.
Beautiful. And notice, we didn't speak for too long. Just around a minute.
Now let's talk about the present. Where you are now and what's ahead.
Yes, you've talked about where you came from. Now, tell people where you are now.
For example, right now I'm working as a content creator and studying digital design in the evenings. I'm learning a lot.
These days, I work from home and spend my free time hiking and cooking new recipes. I'm trying to live more slowly.
And then you can share your plans or dreams. In the future, I'd love to open my own cafe. Next year, I hope to travel to Japan. I'm thinking about starting a podcast.
It's okay if your plans aren't clear. You can say, I'm still exploring. I'm open to new things. Right now, I'm focusing on personal growth.
Your life doesn't have to be perfectly planned. It's okay to be in progress.
Let's finish this section with a few mindset tips.
Yes, because sharing your story, even in a new language, takes courage.
So remember, your story matters. Speak slowly and clearly. Don't rush. Use simple words. That's totally fine. Smile. It helps everything feel easier. And be proud. You're sharing who you are.
And don't worry about being perfect. People remember how you make them feel, not your grammar.
That's right. So just be you.
Let's talk about something important, culture, because how we introduce ourselves can change depending on where we are.
Yes, for example, in English-speaking countries, it's normal to be open and friendly with strangers. Smiling, asking questions, and talking about yourself a little is seen as confident.
But in some cultures, that might feel too personal. So here's our advice. Watch and listen. Notice how people speak around you.
Right, and remember, in the UK, people often start with small talk. Don't jump straight into deep questions. In the US, people may be more direct and enthusiastic. In Australia, humor is important. Keep it relaxed. In Canada, politeness and kindness are big values.
And always be respectful of personal space and privacy. If someone doesn't want to talk, that's okay too.
So now that you know how to introduce yourself, let's talk about how to turn that into a real connection.
Yes, because speaking English isn't just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about connection. It's about listening, caring, and being open.
Ask questions. Be curious. Here are some great questions you can ask after introducing yourself. What do you do? Where are you from originally? What do you enjoy doing in your free time? What brought you here? Have you always lived here?
And really listen to the answer. If someone says, I'm into photography, you can say, oh, cool. What kind of photos do you take?
That's how conversations grow. Bit by bit. One question, one answer, one smile at a time.
And even if your English isn't perfect, it doesn't matter. What matters is showing interest.
So let's wrap things up. If there's one thing we want you to remember, it's this.
Your story matters. No matter where you're from, no matter what your level of English is, you have something to say.
And the world needs more real stories, more honesty, more connection, more courage.
So the next time someone says, "Tell me about yourself," take a breath and speak from the heart.
Be proud of who you are and how far you've come. Whether you say one sentence or tell your life story, it's enough.
And we're so proud of you for listening, learning, and growing with us.
If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend. And remember, you can come back and listen anytime.
This is your English journey. Your story is the most powerful thing you have.
And we're honored to be part of it.
Until next time, keep learning, keep living, and keep loving English.
Bye for now.
now.